Marissa.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
I feel like we were asking you about Katie after all of these games lately, but just what she's been doing really consistently. We heard like a little MVP chant going on, like up in the upper sections. Like, how do you describe what she has meant for this franchise getting off the ground and everything?
Yeah, not just, not even about her amazing performance, but just her leadership. Her leadership. Today, I think it was not our greatest start, and we kind of struggled. And so we leaned to KT, hey, can we hear your voice a little louder? And then, boom, she responds. And you saw her out there, commanding, but also supporting. Because when we're not playing our best, we need to hear some support. So that's what we lean on KT, just not even about her performance. It's more, to me, what she means and how she commands and demands the team to move. But obviously hitting those big shots at the end, I'm taking it. And reliability, like we completely rely on KT, and I love that she stays consistent for us. Yeah.
Kind of just speaking of big shots, it felt like the Caitlin-Kate backcourt duo in the fourth quarter kind of got you guys going. What about that, that stretch that they had together in the backcourt helped bring you guys to, build that lead to 9-7, in that fourth quarter? Yeah,
I think it's just the credit to the unit that was on there at the end. Just, again, finding them. You know what I mean? I think we got multiple stops where Kate just pushed the ball, and she dribbled right into her threes. So, again, that confidence factor that she always carries. So, to me, she'll never be in a slump. She's always high. She's always ready to go. And then I think Caitlin and Tip did a great job of finding KT. We know she likes those stretch threes, so I hit her. Yeah.
Talking about finding KT and finding Kate Martin, finding Caitlin Chen, it felt as if, getting the ball into the paint was really key to being able to open things up throughout the entire night. And then thinking about the pace of the game, only 9 turnovers. As you're coaching your team to push the pace, get into the paint. What's been that message that you've seen them be able to continuously get better at being able to execute that?
Yeah, just we talk about, maintaining that space. Because if you don't maintain that space, now we're like defending, ourselves if we're not spaced. So we did a great job, I thought, finding space. And then, again, like you just said, getting to the paint and spraying. And at the end of the day, we always just want to make the right reads. And that's what they did tonight continuously. They made the right reads. And I thought this game showed complete trust. I told them, we are a family. That trust tonight that we had, boom, to just get off of it and move it, I saw it tonight. Yeah.
In that fourth quarter, when you went on that 12-0 run, I think you had 3 bench players in, including Caitlin and Chloe. What does it say about this group that you can throw 2 people who have been with your team for a week? And I know they were in training camp, but the last week in a game like this that's close, we were down 3, and you can make that 12-0 run and take over a game and hold on to win the game with that group in.
Yeah, complete trust, right? No matter if you're starting or no matter if you're coming off the bench. It's trusting every player, 1 through 12. We have a couple injuries, obviously, but that's it. It's that trust. I don't care who it is, but when it's the right read and 2 people on you, and boom, whether it's KT, Chloe, Kate, whoever's open, they get the ball. Yeah, so like I said, trust tonight was key.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
Did you feel like that slow start was partially due to fatigue, and you guys eventually overcame it, and that says a lot about the team, but did you feel like fatigue was a factor tonight?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to actually ask them. We went over the recovery routine after again, just to make sure. But, I know New York was pretty much a track meet, and I thought, oh, my gosh, good credit to Chicago. They played hard. Talk about 4 quarters, 80 possessions, they played hard. And so they made us run. Obviously, without Cardoso, they are playing faster and with pace and space. And so that was a little bit different from the film that we were watching. So, again, credit to Chicago. Tyler has that team playing and trusting each other and having fun. So, yeah, just credit to Chicago. It was a great game. Yeah.
You talk about your team, regardless if the starters or bench, everyone's ready to play. And it feels as if it's a little bit of the chicken and the egg in that, is it the talent? Is it the system? Is it a mix of both that allows anyone, regardless of when they're coming in, to be able to show out when they go on the floor? What would you say?
It's the players. I'm not out there making any baskets. You don't see me coming down pulling threes. I can't. So it's them. As coaches, we're going to prepare them as best we can just from the experience of what we know. But at the end of the day, we're not out there. We're not out there going against the 18,000, going with that 18,000 crowd, showing up. with that composure, with that poise down the stretch tonight. Like I said, we built trust, but we also showed a lot of composure down the stretch to execute. And I thought, shout out to Monique Billings for making that steal. When she made that steal coming out of that timeout, woof, that momentum run for us was huge. And so, to answer your question again, it's the players. It's not me.
Natalie, just going off that, I guess, do you think the fact that you have been putting these different players together out on the court and you've consistently been doing that throughout the whole season, that does make it more difficult for the other teams, trying to figure out what you guys are going to do? Because it almost seems like, they could watch film from a previous game and then you do something totally different the next game.
That's a question for the opponent, coach. I don't know.
Is it a strategy at all, or are you just still going with what you kind of feel, putting these groups together?
When we study other teams, right, we try to find weaknesses and holes in their defense. So we just try our best to do that. But then also we got to stay true to who we are. And so that's why I think going back to a lot of your guys' questions is we just have to continuously make the right reads and stay in space. As boring as that sounds, I told him sometimes boring is the most consistent. So, yeah.
Coach, how impressive is Kayla's energy and how she can do that on both ends of the court all game?
Yeah, it's very impressive. I don't know where she's getting it from, because and hey, credit to her because she got in a little foul trouble, and one of my mentors he told me hey, Nat, sometimes you just gotta keep him in there and trust him. And so I looked at her and go, I can trust you, right? She's like, let's go. And so she played real smart, real intentional. She wasn't doing too much physicality. I thought she was doing more vocal, and I think you guys saw that. She was screaming, she was yelling, she's commanding. And so just credit to KT to go out there and be in foul trouble and play the way she did. So, yeah, not only is she just stepping up, making the right plays, she's playing very intentional, very smart. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.